Have to.
She did not. And that's nice. We are bucking the trend. We're actually growing during the pandemic. How is that? How is that possible? We're actually up close to 10 families, so it's really quite remarkable. Well, okay. Shabbat Shalom, Cantor.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi.
Shabbat Shalom, Richie.
Shabbat Shalom, Richie.
And to those of you who are watching at home, you now have the option of watching on our streaming, watching on our Facebook page, and also watching on our YouTube channel. All at the same time.
Wow.
Well, I don't know whether you can watch them all at the same time, but our signal goes out on all three media simultaneously. So that's kind of new and exciting. We are just getting more and more technologically significant. I didn't bring my. Oh, yes, I did. We have new masks. Look at this. Nick, can you get a close-up of this? Look at this. All the staff. You probably got one too, Manny.
Oh, I haven't got mine yet.
Well, look at this. I don't know what camera you're working out of it, but look at this.
That's beautiful.
Isn't that nice?
Nice.
It's a Temple Beth El mask. I wore it proudly. Beautiful. At Publix yesterday.
Beautiful.
Well, we are appropriately socially distant, so I don't have to wear my mask this evening. So, I like to do a couple of kind of folksy songs, and with your help, with Richie and your help, Cantor.
Okay.
Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. 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 Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad.
Hine ma tovu manayim
shevet achim gam yachad.
Hine ma tovu manayim
shevet achim gam yachad.
Hine ma tovu manayim
shevet achim gam yachad. Sounds like camp. These are sort of camp melodies. Hava nashira, shir hallelujah, shir hallelujah. Hava nashira, shir hallelujah, shir hallelujah. Hava nashira, shir hallelujah, shir hallelujah. Hava nashira, shir hallelujah, shir hallelujah.
Beautiful.
Now I'm going to give it over to the real musicians, Richie and the Cantor.
Oh, well.
Okay, how about a nice nigun of some sort?
Mizmor, LaDavid. This is a beautiful melody by Shlomo Carlebach. ya da 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 da, ya la da da da, ya da 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 da, la da 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 da, ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da, hey ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da, ya la da da da, ya da 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 da, ya la da da da, ya da 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 da, ya la da da da, ya da 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 da, da 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 da, ya 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 la da 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 da, ya la da da da, ya da 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 da, ya la da da da, ya da 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 da, ya la da da da, ya da 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 da.
That tune has kind of a Middle Eastern flavor.
Exactly.
Doesn't it?
I feel like I'm in the Negev.
Yeah, the Negev. Or I actually went further south. I was in the Arabian Peninsula.
Okay.
Maybe Bahrain that made peace
Oh,
with Israel.
yeah, that's good news.
That's good news. Hey, there's some good news out there.
Yeah.
Bahrain and Israel made peace, and
That's real
they're
good
recognizing each other. That's good. That's the fourth Arab country to recognize the state of Israel. So we continue our service with the blessing over the Sabbath candles. I'm going to light them right now.
Okay.
It's page 120.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav etzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Cantor. And we continue on page 120, page 123 for the Kiddush.
Let's do our jazz one, Rich.
Yes, that's a good one.
Remember?
I think you need brushes for that.
Yes, wait a minute. Here we go. We need the brushes. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hakafen Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu Shabbat kodsho v'yahavav ratzon intilanu zikaron lema'aseh Breshit ki hu yom techilah mikra'e kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta v'yotanu kidashna mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha v'yahava u'ratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mikadesh HaShabbat Amen.
Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished? Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat abide. We continue with, what would you like to continue with?
How about Ma Yafeh Hayom?
I think that's
Page 128. How lovely today is. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom.
Let's continue with Psalm 95. Lechu naranana.
Lekuneranena, 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 Adonai. Lekuneranena, 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 Adonai. Naria, naria, mitzor yishenu, nikad mafana v'toda. Naria, naria, mitzor yishenu, Bismirot naria lo. Lekuneranena, 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 Adonai. Lekuneranena, 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 Adonai.
Let's see. How about Lecha Dodi?
Okay,
Page
let's do the
138.
jazz one, Rich.
Yes.
Jazzy night tonight. Okay, we'll do verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. Leka leka dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nikabala. Leka leka dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nikabala la 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 la. Leka dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nikabala. Leka leka dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nikabala. Shamor b'zakor b'dibor echad, Ishme'anu el ameyukad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shem otiferet veli tehi la 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 leka dodi. Likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nikabala. Leka leka dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nikabala. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelka, ki himekor habraka, merosh mikedem nesuka. So ma'aseh b'makshavat techi la 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 leka dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nikabala. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabala. Hitoreri, kiva orech kumi ori, uri shidaberi, kavod Adonai alaikni la kadodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabala. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom, hateret bala, gam v'simcha u'v'tzola, tov emunei amtegula, boi chala, boi chala. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabala. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabala. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabala. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela.
Okay, Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon, Mihi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barkuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mihi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seidchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mihi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seidchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mihi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yitkadav Shemei Rabha, Yamadi Barak Tenute V'Yamlik Malchutei, V'chayechon U'yomechon U'chayedecha Beit Yisrael. Ba'gala U'mizman Karivimero. Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach, Le'olam Olam Yamaya. Yitbarak V'yishtabach, Yitzbahar V'yitromam Yitnasei, V'yitadrar V'yitalev Yitalav. Shemei Kodeshav Le'elam En Kober Chata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nekemata Damiran V'yama V'yimeru. Amen.
We rise for for the Baruch Hu. If you have a Mishkan Tefillah, it's 146. Lai, 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 lai. 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 Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Barechu et Adonai ha-mevorach. Barechu et Adonai ha-mevorach. Baruch Adonai ha-mevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai ha-mevorach le'olam va'ed. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans into infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. And we continue with Ahavat Olam, page 150. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. The Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed.
We continue with V'ahavta.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol labavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shiftecha b'veitecha u'lechtecha b'derech u'shokbecha u'fumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'misharecha leman tiskeru ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Emet ve'emunah kol zot. All this we hold to be true and trustworthy for us. You alone are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You are our sovereign and Savior, who delivers us from oppressors' hands and saves us from tyrants' fists. You work wonders without number, marvels beyond count. You give us life and steady our footsteps. You perform miracles for us. You performed miracles for us before Pharaoh, signs and wonders in the land of the Egyptians. You led your people Israel out from their midst to freedom for all time. When your children witnessed your dominance, they praised your name in gratitude, and they accepted your sovereignty. Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you together, lifting their voices joyously.
Mi kamoka ba'eli Madonna, mi kamoka nezar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osei felech, nora tehilot osei felech. Al kutekara uvanecha, okea yam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze'elianu Adonai Imlo Leolam Vaed, Adonai Imlo Leolam Vaed. Mi kamoka ba'eli Madonna, mi kamoka nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osei felech, nora tehilot osei felech.
We have a lot of people sending us messages. Marlene and Brent Speckler and five other people.
Which Marlene?
Well, that was Marlene Pinsker.
Oh.
And Cappy Braun wishes us Shabbat Shalom. Sharon Tannenhouse says Shabbat Shalom to my TBE family. Happiness and peace on the Shabbat. And that's from Marlene. Barbara Gorlin Schultz gave us a nice... well, I think, I can't see, it's an emoji, but I'm sure she's wishing us a Shabbat Shalom as well. Nori Gluck, I don't know whether she's up in Michigan.
Yeah, I think she is.
I think she and Bob are wishing us a Shabbat Shalom, and our executive director, Shai, wishes us a Shabbat Shalom, and Paula Steinberg, and Judy Lebensberger. You know, the Lebensbergers have been sponsoring our streaming for the last number of years. Shabbat Shalom to you, Judy. Brent Speckler from Brent and Giselle, and they're up in Melbourne. Cindy Shamides. Cindy,
how about that?
Who's doing really good work up in Tallahassee. At the university there, FSU. She is fighting some really pernicious anti-Israel, and not just anti-Israel, but some anti-Semitic incidents there. And we're so proud. We're so proud of you, Cindy, and keep up the good work. And, Jay Bear says hi. Linda Solomon. And your Ginger. Okay. She says, peace in Israel really happening. Yes, indeed. And Jeffrey Kurtz-Lender, Oh,
How about that?
Oh, Jeffrey. Jeffrey is in Nebraska. Jeff, I think he's a rabbinic colleague of mine, and it's so good to. You're in. Are you in Omaha? I think you're in Omaha. You're running the Jewish Community Center there, I believe.
Wow.
Oh no, he's in Pittsburgh tonight. And Richard Hoffman, and wow. So we have a lot of people. Those are just the people who have commented. I like to give people a shout out because, normally in normal times, I get to greet people. I get to give them a hug. So at least when I can look on Facebook and see your names and know you're watching, it's very strange for us to be speaking and singing and praying in front of a sanctuary that doesn't have any people in it, and it's so good. It's so good to see that you out there at home. My Marilyn and says Shabbat Shalom, and Shari LePage as well. Very good. So let's do Vishamru.
Vishamru Bnei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat Ledorotam Berit Olam Vishamru Bnei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat Ledorotam Berit Olam Beini u'bnei Yisrael Oti le'olam Oti le'olam Oti le'olam Vishamru Bnei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat Ledorotam Berit Olam Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz Vishamru Bnei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat Ledorotam Berit Olam.
And on the seventh day,
Uvayom HaShvi'i
God rested.
Shabbat vayinafash.
God needs time out.
Shabbat vayinafash.
Shabbat
vayinafash. Vishamru Bnei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat Ledorotam Berit Olam.
Stuart says, best way to celebrate Shabbat is with the two of you and Richie.
Nice.
Isn't that nice? Yeah. Shabbat Shalom to you, Stuart, and to Alan. Now we rise for the tefillah on page 166.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Velei avoteinu imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor HaNorah El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Vekonei HaKol V'zocher Chazdei Avot B'maot U'mei Gdula Livnei V'neihem Lema'an Shemo B'Yahava Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham,
Vizrat Sarah.
אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מקיים מתים, אתה רב להושיע, מוריד אתה, מחכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, צומק נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומיתו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ונאמנת על הקיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש הקדושים בכל יום יהללוך הצלה. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el ha'kadosh. And we take our seats. And we thank God for Shabbat.
And for our seats.
And for our seats. Yes. אתה קידשת את יום השביעי לשמך, תכלית מעשי שמיים וארץ, וברכתו מכל הימים, וקידשתו מכל הזמנים. You set aside the seventh day for your name, the pinnacle of creation, and you blessed it above all other days, more sacred than all festival times. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Page 175. Top of the page. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands. You are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai otcha levatcha b'yirah na'avod. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around is so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai hatov shimcha ulacha na'er lehodot. We continue with Shalom Rav on page 178 in the Mishkan Tefillah.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'kol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
You know, I do a meditation every day between Tuesday, from Tuesday to Friday. It's about a 20-minute meditation, and you can join me anytime you like. And, you know, I'm always looking for new things to meditate on and techniques that people can use for their own meditative practice. And one thing we explored this week that I thought was interesting, I'm always looking for new modalities, new ways of looking at the interior part of us, to look at our souls, to calm our minds, and to really understand what's happening in our lives. I remembered something that was all the rage a few decades ago. Now, it was called circadian rhythms. I don't know if you heard about them. I don't buy into any modality totally. You know, I always listen and I go, there's some wisdom in it, and I can take some wisdom from it. It spoke of a 33-day cycle, a 28-day cycle, and a 21-day cycle. It spoke of a physical cycle for your body. And I think that was the 30-day one, the 33-day one, I'm not sure. And the emotional one was the 28-day one. And the intellectual one, I guess, was 21 days. I think that, don't quote me on those numbers, but they said there were in your life, calculated from the day you were born, you have these cycles. Sometimes you're in the trough, sometimes you're moving up to the summit, sometimes you're right at the summit, and then you begin to decline, and then you're kind of in a trough for a while, but you begin to rise. And I think there's some truth in this when we look at our physical lives, our emotional lives, and our intellectual lives. You know, I notice in my own life, some days I have so much physical energy, and then there are days where I'm just depleted. And they come and go. A lot of times I'm sort of in between. And in my emotional life, there's some times when I'm feeling confident and happy and I'm just all together. And then there are days, and they come and go. There are times every few weeks that you kind of feel like you're in the dumps. You know, you carry on, you do what you have to do, but you're schlepping along. Maybe you don't have quite the confidence that you usually have. And intellectually, some days you're just so sharp. You just pick up things like that. You remember. Your memory's good, and you can make associations between all sorts of things and come up with new ideas. And some days you're in a fog. It just happens. And these rhythms are not always in sync with each other. Sometimes you're physically really there, but you're intellectually not so there. Sometimes intellectually you're there and emotionally you're not. There are times, maybe once or twice a year, where you're at the top of your game, physically, emotionally, and intellectually. Boy, you're just moving on all 8 cylinders, you know? And then there are days, maybe once or twice a year, where they all crash on one day. That's the day you don't want to get out of bed, right? You pull the covers over your head. You say, I'm calling in sick today. I'm not going to be in today. I'm not well. And I think when we meditate, checking in with ourselves. And that's and part of meditation is to check in with yourself. Where am I? God, where am I? To pause and to think in meditation. Where am I physically today? What is the level? No, let's just meditate on this for a little bit. Close your eyes, put your feet flat on the floor, and check in with your body. If there is a cycle, a spectrum, highs and lows in your physical energy, your strength and endurance, rate it between 1 and 10. Where are you? Where have you been today? Just check in with your body. And now check in with your emotions. Has this been an up day for you, full of confidence and hope? Have you been happy, or have you been a little bit down? What kind of a color would you give today? Would it be blue? Would it be white? What color? Would it be green? What color, what emotional color would you assign this day? And intellectually, what has this day been like for you? Has this been a day when you have acquired new knowledge? Or a day that maybe your memory wasn't quite as good as it should be? Did you learn something new? What was it like today? And just know that your emotional state changes, your physical state changes, ups and downs, and your intellectual capabilities are strong some days, not so strong other days. And we thank God. We thank God for our bodies, our minds, our hearts. If we wear the talit, we place it around our body, celebrating our physical existence. If we wear the tefillin, I do that for the whole congregation on Thursday mornings. The tefillin shel yad, by the heart, that represents our emotional life. The tefillin shel rosh, that goes on the head between your eyes, representing our intellect. Wherever we're at, physically, emotionally, intellectually, we strive to serve God and to serve our fellow human beings. Take a deep breath, hold it, and release it.
Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'alko Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'alko Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'alko Yisrael. 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 Yisrael v'imru Amen.
There are events in our lives that are real milestones. There are events in the history of a nation that are also milestones. Those milestones, those events that happen, they are a watershed. You think of what it was like before, what it has been like since. And you know where I'm going with this. Today we are observing the 19th anniversary of 9/11. You know, things changed. It was a watershed. You know, my life changed, your life changed. It was different before 9/11. America was different before 9/11. It's been different after 9/11. I remember before 9/11, our property was open. You remember? We didn't have a fence around this property. People used to walk with their dogs, and I used to ask them to clean up. But our neighbors used to walk with their dogs here like it was a public park. Parents would teach their kids to drive in our parking lot on Sundays. We didn't mind. Just do it. It's okay. We did not have guards at the door.
Didn't have to buzz to get in?
You didn't have to buzz to get in. You didn't have to. You didn't have cameras. We have cameras all over the place now. We hired a few guards, a few off-duty policemen on the high holidays to direct traffic. That was about it. You know what? We have a fence and gates all around the property now. You got to buzz to get in. We don't just let anybody into the building. We got to know you. You know, we want to know who's coming in and out of our building. We have children here. We have to make sure that they're safe. We spend well over $100,000 a year in our congregation for security. Never had that expense before. I remember before 9/11, I used to play a game when I traveled on the airplane. You remember that football player, I shall not mention his name, who advertised for Hertz?
Oh, yeah.
You know, that guy. But you remember he would run, he'd run through the airport, jumping over. Remember that commercial? Well, I used to do a version of that. I used to like to be the last guy on the plane, not spend one extra minute at the terminal or at the gate. I used to love that. I'd go, oh, gee, it's leaving in 40 minutes. I think I can make it. I never missed an airplane. I never missed a flight. And nowadays, what do? You got to leave an hour and a half before. You got security. And they pat you down. You got to take your shoes off. You know, things have changed. I remember what I was doing, on these watershed times in your life. These events. You remember what you were doing when they occurred. I know what I was doing on that Tuesday. It was a Tuesday. I had 2 funerals on that day. One was in Miami Beach. One was in Pembroke Pines. Well, I was driving down to Miami Beach. I guess it was 9 o'clock or something. I can't remember when the funeral was. Maybe 10 o'clock. And I'm listening to the news. Breaking news. A plane flew into one of the Twin Towers. Oh, my God. What a horrible thing. Had to be an accident. The thought that it was a terrorist attack never occurred to me. I mean, planes fly over New York all of the time. Those buildings are 110 stories high. It was bound to happen, but what a tragedy. So I go and I do the funeral, and I have to meet the family later, and we went to the cemetery. But I remember leaving, going past the office of the funeral home and the second tower. I could see the funeral directors watching television. The second tower had been hit. That was no accident. That was too much. And then I remember, having to do the interment of this person, and I had to, concentrate on helping the family. They were grieving for their loved ones, but my mind was what's happening in New York. And I'm driving up to Pembroke Pines for the second funeral. And my range of emotions were fear, sadness, and anger. And I'm driving along Pines Boulevard, and I see a woman in a hijab, I guess. It looked like a Muslim outfit. And I felt such anger at her. And I remember yelling in the car, "Why are you the people doing this to us?" And I went and did that other funeral, but I was ashamed of myself for getting angry at that poor woman, a Muslim woman. She had nothing to do with it. And I was thinking to myself, if I have this kind of rage, if I have this kind of anger, and I'm not somebody who would act on that kind of rage. Everybody's got to be feeling. I would imagine what I was feeling, everybody was feeling. And I remember I came back and I said, I'm having a service on Thursday, so that would have been the 13th. We had a service in this sanctuary. I invited Christians, and I invited a Muslim imam, a friend of mine, Muhammad Shafayat, a very decent, sweet man. He's spoken a few times. I have to tell you, a lot of my congregants were not happy. They were not happy with me inviting Muslims into the building. Rabbi, what are you doing? Because they were feeling the same kind of anger I had been feeling. Well, the press was here. We were on television. And we came together as a community. Christians, Jews, and Muslims. And I think maybe to some little degree or another, we helped keep the peace here in Broward County. I think my congregants were eventually very happy that I'd done what I did. I think they felt proud and they felt good to have, because I was worried about. I do have Muslim friends. I was worried that there would be some violence done to them, and so much has changed. Growing out of 9/11, we had the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. This is the longest period of war we've ever been in as a nation. This is the longest war. It's cost us in lives, about 6,000 American troops. But many, many hundreds of thousands have come back shattered, physically, psychologically shattered. It's cost us maybe $2.5 trillion before it's over, when we have to look after all of those service people for the rest of their lives. In many cases, it's going to be at least $3-4 billion. And it seemed to have ignited all sorts of bad things all over the Middle East. A lot, ISIS and all sorts of terrible stuff. And things have changed. I remember for a few days, maybe for a few weeks after 9/11, there was a certain unity in America. I could feel it. There weren't Democrats and Republicans. There weren't black people and white people.
There weren't, we were all Americans. This was done to us all. And I sensed a certain politeness, a certain gentleness that we demonstrated to each other, to strangers. I just noticed the way people drove, the way strangers interacted. Didn't last that long, unfortunately, but, there was that sense of coming together. I think we've lost that since. I think we've lost that since, that sense of unity and togetherness. Why does it have to be that we need an external attack on us to make us feel one? Why is that? I think that's human nature. I think that happens in all countries. People start finding all sorts of things to argue about until there's an external threat. Now, I heard about a study of the kids coming up, the kids who were born on 9/11. They're 19 now. They will be able to vote for the very first time in this election. And there was a writer, I can't remember his name, he's done a study and he interviewed a lot. They call this, I think they call it Generation Z. There's Generation this, Generation that. Can't keep up with it. The kids born since 2001 are called Generation Z. They've known nothing but war. They've not been alive one day without conflict. Now, you would think that they would be rather cynical. A lot of the previous generations were getting a little jaded, a little cynical. But these kids, these 19-year-olds, are he's found that they are incredibly optimistic about America. Isn't that incredible? They say it's going to get better. A lot of the millennials and the X's and us boomers, we're not so sure. But these kids are saying, no, it's going to get better. It's going to be better. And, they are an inspiration to us. So today we mourn for the almost 3,000 Americans who died. We were all brothers and sisters. They were all of everyone was part of our extended American family. And today we mourn for them and we remember them. And if there's anything that we can do to honor their memory, it is this. It's to remember that America is a good country and that we have to pull together. We have to see each other in a positive light, and we must be positive and optimistic about this country. That is the best way to honor the memory of those who died on 9/11. Cantor, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, thanks, Rob. I know what I was thinking of today? I have a strange hobby. I like to go to Publix when they open at 7 in the morning. It's one of my hobbies. I'm up early, so I go at 7 in the morning quite often and buy what we need. And sometimes you see the same people once in a while. Yeah. And a few years ago, I saw a guy where he had a beautiful SUV in the parking lot right near my car, and I've seen him a few times. And he had a customized SUV where it was just painted so beautifully with the stars and stripes, the American flag, and the bald eagle on there. And it was red, white, and blue, and it was done professionally. It was beautiful. And he had these names written in beautiful script in white letters. So one day I was coming out, and I was getting into my car, and he was getting into his, and I went over to him, and I asked him, I said, I can't help but admire your car. And I said, what's the significance of this? And I asked him, and he said he was a retired fire captain from New York.
Wow.
And those were all the guys from his firehouse that perished on 9/11.
Wow.
And it hit me.
Wow.
And he had about 30, 35 names. And I would see the guy once in a while, and I never forgot that. They were all his friends.
When everybody was running down,
They were running in.
the police and the firefighters were running into the building.
Yeah.
I mean, that is something. The sacrifice, and a lot of those guys didn't come out. A lot of them didn't make it. I mean, that was incredibly inspiring, giving their lives for other Americans.
They didn't hesitate.
That they didn't even know.
They went in.
They didn't know. They didn't hesitate.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's great. That is patriotism at its best. Well, we have some birthdays. Give us a little birthday music. Jerry Roars. She's probably in Aspen right now. Paulette Schiffman. You know who she is related to? Don Myman.
Oh, how about that?
She's come down and she's a new member. And Judge Michelle Singer. And Mark Axon, who is a regular at our Thursday morning minion. Ed Robbins, who has served this congregation so nobly for so many years. And Kenneth Carey Lebensberger. He and Judy make this streaming service possible. And Shelley Margolis. Shelley. And Olivia Kasner. Sandra Perlman. David Emis. We bar mitzvahed him here. And Greg Fink. Oh, and Marlene Pinsker. David Roth. Dean Sorrentino, Richard Bernstein, Barbie Stern. We still need a little more music here. I got a few more. Debbie Plant.
Keep going.
Scott Owens, over there on the beach. Eleonora Lejac, and Jamie Fink. We bat mitzvahed her here on this bima.
Yep.
Not that long ago. And Larry Davis, another beloved member. Now we have some children who are having bar mitzvahs. Matilda Friedman and Lenny Berman. Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yavarecha Adonai v'yishmarecha. May God bless you. May God watch over you. Ya'er Adonai panav alecha v'yichuneka. May God shine a divine light around you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav alecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God be with you every step along your life's journey, and may you be blessed with peace. Amen. Very good. And now we rise.
We'll do Misha Berach?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Misha Berach. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm glad you reminded me.
Yeah.
Yes. Michael Friedman and Murray Diamond and Andrea Larson.
And I have some names to add. We're going to say a prayer for Irene Gluck, Billy Stander, Bernie Besserman, Leslie Glatzer, Marvin Blitz, and Ian Worley. Okay? So we pray for restoration of health for all of these people. Mishe Be'erak Avotenu Mikor HaBraka Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishe Mikor habraka lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We rise for the Elenu. If you have a Mishkan Tefillah, it's 586.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתקמים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו echad.
This Shabbat, we observe the yortzites of Sam Abulafia, Lucille Baer, Herman Barish, Israel Bazalon, Max Borses, Maurice Feinzig, Sam Fiedelman, Gene Fishman, Milton Foreman, Fern Sandra Friedman, Samuel Goldfarb, Beatrice Golan, Douglas Greenbaum, Samuel Gross, Morris Hafner, Gabriel Heinemann, Meyer Chester Held, Henry Kaplowitz, Rockmeal Karp, Pauline Karen, Sidney Kapalov, Albert Lipsky, Jared Lopiano, Abraham Mailman, Jack Nass, Samuel Nussbaum, Julius Ober, Celia Schneider, Helen Weltz, Schreiber, Moisha Schwartz, Manny Sherman, Lawrence Spindell, Irving Spritz, Edith Waxenberg, Joseph Wilkoff, and Hyman Wolk. And as always, we remember the 6 million. We are in the Shloshim period for Shaul, Habosha, Yehuda Bilu, Steve Prince, Bernard Fox, Sari Fox, and Rabbi Mark Shapiro. The mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash merabah, b'yalma devarach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'b'yomechon u'fchayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, b'agala v'yizman kariv imromen, yehei shmei rabba mevarach leolam olamel maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei d'kudesha b'rechu, Leila minko berchata v'shirata, tushpachata v'nechamata, damiran b'yama v'imromen, yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imromen, oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imromen. Please be seated. You know, we had 2 former presidents were on that Kaddish list, Milton Foreman and Abe Mailman. Abe gave all of the property that this synagogue occupies.
That's really
He
something.
donated the property. And Milton Foreman, I didn't know him, but I knew his wife, who was just a lovely lady. We have two, I just noticed, you know, I love, you and I love the stories of our congregants. And you and I you and I have really gotten to know some wonderful
yeah.
people. Sam Abulafia, he'd been a prisoner of war in
Yeah.
the Second World War. He was in the American Air Force, and he was captured by the Germans.
Yeah.
And he said, they're going to find out I'm a Jew, and I don't know what's going to happen to me. And he was told, some officers pulled him out of this prisoner's barracks and said, sit on the fender of the Jeep. And he had this rough ride to the commandant. Now, it turns out that the Luftwaffe, the German, the Nazi Air Force, they weren't as anti-Semitic, who knows, as the Wehrmacht, as the army. And the officer talked to him and just got information about nothing about him being Jewish. He knew, he had to know he was Jewish, but he was treated okay. But he said that ride on the fence, they wouldn't let him sit on in the Jeep. And he said, I'm dead. And then Henry Kaplowitz, Barry Kaplowitz's dad, he was shot down. He had a parachute somewhere in Southeast Asia, and his parachute got caught in a tree, and he was swinging. He was swinging, wow. And he was going, well, the Chinese army was there, and the Japanese, and he didn't know who was going to get him. He says, I'm a dead man if the Japanese fight. And there he is, swinging on this tree in his parachute. Wow. The Chinese found him, so he was okay. But, our congregants have such amazing stories, Everybody's got a story. I love these stories. Well, anyway, tomorrow we got Torah study, and at 9:30, followed by services. Now, this is terrific. This is going to be really you got to do. You're watching Trudy and Ben. Okay, I know Rachel's going to be watching. Seth and Damon, these are people who were also tuning in. You got to be here. You got to be on the streaming service or the Facebook page, 7 o'clock tomorrow. Tomorrow is Slichot. It is the Saturday before Rosh Hashanah. And we do certain prayers. The cantor is going to give us a little taste of some of the liturgy that's going to follow. Now, I introduced a custom here 24 years ago. This will be almost 24 years ago when I came here, of showing a movie on Slichot. I always look for a movie that has some kind of moral dilemma. Something that's going to make you think. And then we can have a discussion about it. Because, hey, what are you supposed to do around the high holidays? You're supposed to think about life. Think about values. Well, it was a little impractical to show a full-length movie. So Rachel Kaplan and I were thinking, we were saying, what can we do? On the social media. There's a guy by the name of Hanan Harchol, and this incredible Israeli artist who does these animated shorts, and they're all they're to make you think. And there's one about forgiveness. It's this little conversation between a father and his son. And it's funny at times, but it's also very serious. So we're going to show that, 7 o'clock tomorrow. And guess what? Hanan has agreed, and he's getting to be a big deal now. He's this very talented Jewish artist. He's an artist and a musician. He's getting well known. He's coming out with a movie, a documentary soon. He's going to be on the Zoom with me, and we're going to discuss we're going to discuss this, and people are going to be able to submit questions. So it should be very, very cool. TBE Book Club on Tuesday at 10:30. Teens Connect on Zoom. That will be at 5 o'clock on Tuesday. We have Women's Spirituality on Monday, 7 p.m. We have Transitional Yoga with Jenna Hoffman, 11 a.m. We have the meditation, of course, every day between Tuesday and Friday. Thursday, Minyan, Rosh Hashanah dinners will be delivered. And everything you ever wanted to know about Judaism, but you might have been a little shy to ask. You can ask this guy. What is it? What, you meet at 6, is it?
I don't have the answers. I just wanted a nice title.
Well, you make them up, you know. We
I'll tell you
don't know.
what. You know what? We got together last night, my class, and we have such a good time. And everyone's invited to join this class.
Yeah.
And we all just said how this class is so important to us at this time in our lives, where we get together every week and people look forward to it.
Yeah.
And we have a great time. We really do.
And so you don't want to miss that. 6 o'clock and next
On
Friday.
Thursdays.
On Thursdays, that's right. And then we got, now next Friday night. It's going to be a little bit unusual. We're not going to have the casual table here. You're going to be on your pulpit. I'm going to be in my pulpit.
Okay.
And it's Rosh Hashanah, 5781, the new year. And it's going to be a little unusual, but you're going to be at home. Maybe you'll be in your jammies. I don't know. Maybe you'll get dressed up. Maybe you'll dress up in your Yontif finery and sit in front of the computer, your TV, and watch. But it's you can certainly watch next. We're going to have a lot of people. It could be many, many hundreds, maybe a few thousand. We've had people all over the world watch in previous years. Tashlich, what's Tashlich? That's when you throw your sins into the water on the first day of Rosh Hashanah. That's going to be at 3:30. 3:30 on Shabbos. On Saturday, we're going to meet, and I'm going to blow the shofar there. Or somebody, I or someone will blow the shofar in case you want to hear it, firsthand. It's going to be at South Lake. I don't know. I don't even know if we have to tell people. We'll see each other. It's small enough. We'll see each other. High holiday prayer books. You need high holiday prayer books. Just call the office. We'll make sure that you have them. Visits with at the Ark with Cantor Manny or me. If you want to just spend a few moments in front of the Ark with the Cantor or me, you set up times between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. You can just pour out your heart to God, whatever. But you got to call the office to set up a time. So, wow. So much is happening. Okay, have I covered all of our business? I think I have.
Well, we have to thank the lovely couple that sponsored Richie tonight.
That's right. Who would they be?
Al and Dee.
Well, it's too bad they couldn't be here. But,
Too bad.
Yeah. But, yes.
Well, I know their anniversary. They got married on 9/9/99.
Wow! I don't know what the significance of that is, but it sounds kind of mystical to me.
9/9/99. And I'm going to sing their wedding song, and I'm going to stand up. I can't sit down.
It sounds like a bargain. It sounds like a matzia. Not for you, $9.99.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
All right, this is for Al and Dee. Girl, I can't let you do this. Let you walk away. Girl, how can I live through this when you're all I wake up for each day, baby? You're my soul and my heart's inspiration. You're all I've got to get me by. You're my soul and my heart's inspiration. Without you, baby, what good am I? I never had much going, but at least I had you. How can you walk out knowing I ain't got nothing left if you do, baby? You're my soul and my heart's inspiration. You're all I've got to get me by. You're my soul and my heart's inspiration. Without you, baby, what good am I? Oh, what good am I? Baby, I can't make it without you. And I'm telling you, honey, you're my reason for laughing, for crying, for living, and for dying. Baby, I can't make it without you. Please, I'm begging you, baby. If you go, it will kill me, I swear it. Dear, my love can't bear it. You're my soul and my heart's inspiration. You're all I've got to get me by. You're my soul and my heart's inspiration. Without you, baby, what good am I? What good am I? Happy anniversary, Dia now. That's for you. And now,
yeah.
we're going to sing a beautiful song about our country for 9/11.
Oh, well,
God bless America.
Okay.
Can we do that?
I was just going to say, you've never been in better voice.
Oh, thanks, Rabbi. Thank you.
And Dee and Al, that was for you. We love you. We love everything that you do for this congregation. And I think it's very appropriate for us to sing something for America. Absolutely.
God bless America. Everybody join with us at home. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountain to the prairie, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech olam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen.
Well,
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. I hope I will see you tomorrow, either at Torah class at 9:30 or at Slichot at 7.
Slichot.
Cantor, have a piece of
Thank you.